been a tough week for the Ukrainian rocket factory Yuzhmash. A New York Times article linked North Korea's rapid progress in the intercontinental ballistic missile program to the Ukrainian state-owned company. The explosive claims were quickly refuted by top Ukrainian officials, Yuzhmash, and the U.S. intelligence community. But it doesn't end there. Specialists say the main focus of the story has largely been overlooked, if not completely ignored. The episode, they say, is really about North Korea gaining access to secret information and expertise, which allowed them to build the intercontinental ballistic missile, and not about the Ukrainian factory's alleged backdoor dealings. The chief economist of Yuzhmash has previously said that security at the facility is considered to be of the utmost importance. Let's take a listen to him now.
They work around the clock with documents. In principle, the same regulations remain in place that existed under the Soviet Union, so technical permissions are issued directly to those people who require it. At the end of the working day, this must be handed over. All the documentation is secured by an alarm system. In principle, we haven't had a single instance of a finished product or a document going missing or disappearing.
The Ukrainian factory even said it physically couldn't have made any deals. Their whole production line of ballistic missiles and engines was dismantled several decades ago, according to Yuzhmash. What we're seeing now are some of the equipment that they produced. The factory also reports it stopped producing military missiles and their engines in 1991. This was when Ukraine gained its independence. A more realistic scenario is that the North Koreans got their hands on design information in the 1980s and 1990s, before and during the collapse of the Soviet Union. It's also possible, according to missile specialists, that North Korea only recently became capable of using that information. The New York Times story, which is based on a report from the International Institute for Strategic Studies, is based on the assumption that North Korea isn't capable of start-to-finish production capabilities. And this is why, according to the study, Pyongyang must have looked for deals in Russia and Ukraine. But that narrative is simply false, according to U.S. intelligence, which has dismissed the allegations completely. North Korea is not reliant on engine imports. That's the headline from Reuters, which sources U.S. intelligence officials. This has also been confirmed by Joshua Polak, the editor of the Non-Proliferation Review and a senior research associate. He says there's no indication of North Korea importing missile technology. So how did the missiles end up in North Korea's possession? Mr. Polak says the answer isn't the equipment. He believes it would be very difficult to send missile engines to a country like North Korea, which is closely monitored by intelligence agencies worldwide. He says it's about the expertise. Last month, the U.S. imposed sanctions on a number of subsidiaries of the Shahid Hamat industrial group. The U.S. Treasury Department said the entities were central to the country's ballistic program. But that's not all. During my interview with Mr. Polak, he said that Iranian specialists from the same group participated in developing North Korea's latest missiles. Let's take a listen.
That Iranian engineers from Iran's missile enterprise participated in the development of this new heavy space launch engine in North Korea. They named two individuals in particular from the Shahid Hamat industrial group, who they claim traveled to North Korea to participate in the design and development of these engines.
That was Joshua Polak, the editor of the Non-Proliferation Review, speaking with us earlier this week. The Ukrainian authorities have promised a thorough investigation into the allegations in the study. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko has even invited the authors of the New York Times article to take a tour of Yuzhmash. We'll see what the results of the investigation will bring.